Well, this first year of teaching, I hope you're excited, but it's not going to be perfect. I want to share all the different mistakes that I made and hopefully get you thinking in terms of what you can do to help preempt those mistakes, how you would react in those situations, and just start getting those pathways in your head. Because the more you think about what you would say to a student and the more you can learn from a mistake I made, the more you can avoid that thing and get to where you want to be as a teacher faster. So don't worry, you'll make your own mistakes, but if you can avoid making some of my mistakes, I feel good because then my mistake has more meaning, but then you'll feel good because the mistakes you're making are mistakes you would have been making your second or third year of teaching, and you're getting them out of the way early and you'll just be better for it. So the first mistake I made as a first year teacher was thinking that I knew more than the experienced teachers. I was fresh out of college, and talking to the other teachers, they were talking about standardized testing at the time, and boy, I thought I knew everything, and they were just being cranky old teachers. They don't really understand. It took me a couple of years to understand why they were saying the things they were saying, that they were absolutely correct, and I wish that I hadn't just said, "Oh, I know better." I'm sure I'm sure that those teachers were wrong. And so if you hear an experienced teacher saying something, make sure that you're not just blowing it off saying, "Oh, that's just a dinosaur saying something that's not true." They have a lot more experience and they are a lot wiser. At least try to listen to what they're saying in that. The next mistake I made is trying to have a work-life balance. That first year, it's going to be broken for a while, and you're going to kind of accept that, wow, this year is going to be a lot of work. The next year, as long as you're organizing yourself, as long as you are trying to, keep the work that you're doing in an organized way, the next year you'll have all of that done and you'll be able to, polish it, perfect it, and extend it. It won't take nearly as much time the second year. So your work-life balance will be broken for a while. Giving daily homework is a mistake that first-year teachers often make. Giving daily homework is terrible. You might remember it from school. If some old school teachers, they're giving daily homework, they're hitting it really, and they're super organized. Well, it feels like such a grind to have, all right, guys, do 5 problems, and then they show up. Some of the kids have their work done. A lot of them have some of it done, and they're racing to get it done. More kids don't have it done at all. And now you've got to deal with missing assignments. You've got to deal with the kid who didn't hear the assignment. You got to deal with the kid who lost it. You got to deal with the kid who is going to be gone for a week. And as soon as you have daily assignments, it builds up and builds up and builds up in a bad way. It's better to lump assignments together and say, okay, here's this week's worth of practice for what we're doing. And here's this unit worth of things. I would give out, when I was still a science teacher, I gave out the entire unit worth of homework. It would be 12 pages long, but I'd give them, say, okay, hey, we just finished lesson 1. Go to lesson 1 in your homework and do it. And kids would learn, hey, I need to keep up on this because I don't want to do 12 pages of homework on the last day. Then that's one assignment. They're going to hear it, whether or not they're gone the first day. They'll hear about it the second day. They'll be able to catch up on the third day. It's much better to lump your assignments into larger assignments and have some sort of system where if a kid gets something wrong, how are they correcting it? The purpose of homework isn't just to give them a grade. It's so that they can practice trying to practice that skill and get better at it. So if they're just trying to get the homework turned in for a grade, a lot of kids will be copying. A lot of kids, what I needed to learn how to do as a first year teacher was make homework formative and make it so that they want to learn what's on the homework because they know the homework is going to help them in the future. And it's not just for a grade. Another mistake I made as a first year teacher was filling time up with busy work. If you start giving busy work to kids, they stop engaging, they start resenting. Busy work is just poison to a productive, fun classroom. And stay away from busy work. Another mistake I made, writing long email replies to parents. If you can learn from this one, I caught a kid plagiarizing. We were doing it in Google Docs, so you could see where she copy and pasted this big block of text. And we had a school policy. I followed the school policy, and the teacher or the parent came back and they wanted me fired. So they were copying the principal right away. And so here I am. I'm writing this long email talking about how, hey, here's the school policy, here's what's happened, here's how I know, here's why I'm enforcing it, here's why it's better that your daughter is getting caught cheating in 8th grade as opposed to getting caught cheating in college where you can be expelled. And, a parent who's mad at you, they're not going to read that email the way that you're writing it. They're not going to hear you. What they're going to hear is, you want my kid to fail? And that's what that parent thought I was saying. And so now she's copying the superintendent on, and it's all because I wrote out a long email instead of calling him on the phone or even just waiting a day and writing a shorter email. If you can ice those tense conversations, take a day and say, okay, well, this email's in my inbox. It's a Friday night. Instead of getting all worked up and writing a long response, I need to just let that sit until Monday. And it's okay. You should get back to it, but not responding right away. Because if you get an email, even if it's a short one, you give a short reply, sounds fine. But now the next email is going to be right back in your inbox. You could start having a conversation of 15 different emails, and that parent's going to start emailing you every time they have a thought. If you don't kind of ice it a little bit, put some space, put some time in between your replies. So don't make that mistake. That was terrible. Make a phone call instead. Try to keep it short. If you're nervous, talk to your principal. Say, hey, I'm calling this parent. They already said this. Could you just, be here? Most principals are happy to do that. So learn from my email mistake. Next mistake was trying to keep everything in my head, trying to not write things down and thinking that I could organize myself, organize my ideas, organize my class, and just remember everything I needed to remember. Having a good journal, super helpful. I have electronic ways to remember things. I've got digital reminders, and I've got paper and pencil journal that I do now. And it takes the stress away because at night I can just write down all the things I can think of. It's on a list. Okay, put it away, and now I'm at ease. Instead of waking up in the morning and thinking, have I forgotten anything? No, it's all written down. So keeping and getting organized with a journal is a super helpful thing for a first-year teacher. Another mistake I made was caring so much about the standardized test that was coming up that I became a worse teacher I had all these cool units, all these cool things I wanted to do, and I cut them because they took too long, because we had to get through all the content because the test was coming. And, I got through more content and maybe the kids scored higher, but I wasn't a better teacher and those kids didn't really learn more. Even though they might have scored higher on the test, I can tell you over the summer, they didn't have deep learning. They forgot most of it. I should have just stuck to my guns and gone slower and done the things that I'm really passionate about, things that I really care about. And so if you're tempted to skip something that is awesome for more test prep and more review and getting through more content, you're probably going to end up harming yourself, emotionally, or at least as, the love of the profession. And your students are probably going to remember less overall because, test prep sticks for 2 weeks at most. And if they never think about it again, or if they go home for the summer and there's no reason for them to remember it, it's gone. So caring too much about the test. The last thing that I'll say that I messed up as a first-year teacher was I was trying to be perfect. It was difficult to just admit, hey, I need help with this. Here's my principal. I'm having trouble with this class. Here's what's going on. What do you think I should do? Or talking to your teammates saying, here's what I'm thinking. What are your thoughts? Don't be shy. Don't be afraid to say I need help to someone, because they understand what you're going through. We've all done it. You just need to ask for help, and people will come out of the woodwork to help you. No one's going to think less of you because they've all been there. So avoid some of those mistakes. You'll be better than I was.